Hey y'all, welcome to or welcome back to our very bookish channel. My name's Amanda and I run this channel with my friend Jen. You guys will be seeing her in a minute, but in today's video we are going to pick our January TBRs and I'm going to talk a little bit about how we are changing things up. Y'all. So me personally, I need to read down my physical TBR. I haven't counted the books, but y'all know I recently moved, and when you have to pack up and move boxes and boxes of heavy books, you start to realize, wow, I have a lot of books I have not read. So I'm going to be focusing this entire year mostly on my physical TBR and on books that I have downloaded and not read that are in my Kobo, because I do get a lot of books, arcs, and things from Edelweiss and NetGalley, and you need to read those or they're not going to keep giving them to you or allowing you access to them because they want to save them for people that are going to actually read them. So I need to read those down as well and get my read ratio back up for those websites, because I don't want to miss out on any arcs that I can read for y'all to let you know what's coming out, what's good, but also for myself, of course, books that I'm just really highly anticipating and want to get my hands on. So I'm focusing on that. Also, we are going to be pulling a most anticipated release out of our TBR jars this year every single month. Typically we would do these every other month, but since we're so behind, I have 106 in here that I have not read. I mentioned that in the last most anticipated releases video we did, so that's a whole year's worth of reading alone just in this jar for me. So yeah, we're gonna start pulling one or two of these every single month. We're not gonna always do full vlogs on them like we have in the past, but we'll at least film some shorts and put up some short form content for y'all based around these books to let you know what we read and if we like them or not. So exciting changes coming for the TBR jars. Also for me, Jen got me these reading dice for my birthday, and I've been dying to use them. So one of my picks every month is gonna be using these dice, and I'm just gonna roll and see what I get. One dice gives you a genre, and for this one, there is a genre called biography, and I don't read a lot of biographies. I don't usually enjoy a lot of biographies. We did read the Britney Spears biography when it came out, and we vlogged that, and that was okay, but it's just not something that I typically enjoy. So I think what I'm going to do is, if I get biography, I'm going to actually read true crime. So we're staying with nonfiction. It does get me out of my comfort zone a little bit because true crime is not a genre I read a lot of, but it's a lot more enjoyable for me to read and learn about than just like someone's biography. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So if we get biography, I am going to just make this a true crime genre. And then on this dice, we have different modes or mediums of reading. So like buy new. So that would be a buy new book. Not good for me since my TBR is already busting, but it's exciting because it's always fun to go book shopping. You have audiobook, you have TBR pile, so there's just different, I think, libraries on here, secondhand, so there's just different ways for you to get a hold of your book. So we will be rolling these a little bit later.
Hey guys, Jen here, and here are the books I plan on reading in January 2026. Happy New Year, and I can't believe we're going into our third year of Fiction Addictions. I think it's 3 years. Pretty sure it's 3 years. And I have a lot of arcs on my January TBR. And one of the reasons, and what I'm going to start off with, is me and Amanda are working on a vlog that we plan on posting in February, the month of love, because we do love arcs. So we have a vlog planned where we are going to read 3 arcs. The one both of us are going to be reading in tandem is Adrift by Will Dean. Me and Amanda have done a vlog when we read The Chamber by Will Dean. Now, I really enjoyed his first book that I read called The Last One, and I thought we had done a vlog, but I think I read it and I had been raving about it, told Amanda she should read it. She did and loved it. And then we did a vlog on The Chamber. Now, I didn't like that one as much, But Amanda, I think, has read other books by him as well. And I haven't yet, but this one sounds really interesting, and we both have ARCs for it. I have an electronic ARC, not a physical ARC. I should say ARC is advanced reading copy. For those that don't know what an ARC is, publishers put out both electronic copies and physical copies of books that will be coming out up to a year in advance. So it gets like buzz out, people can review it and let you guys know if it's worth reading when it comes out, and helps people get interested in books that we'll be releasing. And me and Amanda love reading books before they come out, especially from our favorite authors. For this vlog, other than Adrift, which is about a couple who both of them are writers, the woman, his wife, gets success with her career, and he starts to let jealousy take over. They are in this remote location, so it's like a locked room thriller. And I think he starts to go insane, basically. They also have a son with them, and I think he starts to terrorize his family. At least that's what it sounds like. And that's the premise. I feel like it might be a little more interesting than The Chamber. The Chamber was locked room thriller. I think he likes to do locked room thrillers because the last one is also on a cruise ship and they can't really escape. And that one, I love the twist at the end. So I'm really hoping that he does something similar with a twist. I don't feel like The Chamber was too crazy of a twist that I remember anyway. We're doing 3 ARCs in that ARC video, and so I will be reading 2 others in the month of January for that video. I haven't completely decided what I want to read with that video because I have a lot of ARCs, both physical and electronic. I am a mood reader, so it's going to be hard for me, I think, to choose, but I'm going to have to make a definitive decision and just go with it. There's one that I want to read that is kind of a romantic thriller, and I think that fits with the love theme, so I might be doing that one, but you'll have to see the video in order to see what else I read. I don't know if Amanda is talking about hers in her January TBR because I think we decided it after she had filmed her January TBR, but that's what we have planned. Definitely keep an eye on our channel for that to come out in February, probably around Valentine's Day.
First book that I want to read in January from my TBR pile, and that is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I bought this book a long time ago. And it was very popular. That's probably when I bought the book, when it became very popular and people were talking about it. And I've just heard really good things about this book from other people that read similar books to me, that have kind of similar book taste. So I'm really excited to read this. Obviously there's some dragons, and I don't know a lot about the book. I know one of the characters, I think the FMC is originally an assassin of some kind, and she gets caught, and the MMC, I think, is like a very vengeful person, and I don't know, he takes revenge out on someone for hurting someone on his family, or maybe his love or something. And that's all I know. I also know that in this book, the dragons are moons, or dragon eggs are moons or something, and that's why it's like the moon is hatched. Like the dragons are kind of gone and retreated to the sky, and then something happens with this dragon. Obviously, I don't know a lot, y'all. Obviously, I don't know a lot, and I do like to go to my books blind. I just know that I've heard good things about it, and I have heard some criticisms about this book, but the criticisms that I heard, I don't think are gonna really affect me a lot. I don't think it's things that would necessarily bother me. So we'll see. I am really excited to get into this book. The sequel to this book is coming out this year. I think it's in May. I should probably like know more information before I start these videos, but I think the next book in this is coming out in May. So I definitely want to read it soon, and that way I can just pick up the second book when it comes out if I love it. I've also heard the writing in this book is very good, very lyrical, very nice writing. It's been compared to Rachel Gierig, and you all know I loved The Night and the Moth. So I'm really looking forward to this.
The arc I decided that I am not going to be doing with that because I feel like it's a little different, and I don't know, I was trying to do similar-ish ones with that vlog, and I wanted to do something, I think, you know, around love and Valentine's Day since we're posting it in February. But I did get the new Sally Hepworth and I love her books. I've had a lot of books by her that I have really loved. Darling Girls is one that came out last that I really loved. This one is called Mad Mabel, and it's like a dual timeline type of thriller where a family moves next door to this older woman, and this young girl starts to get inquisitive to Mabel, who lives next door, and she's seemingly like an older woman, innocent, but you start to figure out or find out that she may have done something not so innocent in her past, as in murder, something along those lines. So I really thought this was an interesting premise, and I love Sally Hepworth, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this one in January. And by the way, this one comes out April 21st.
The next book I pulled from my TBR pile is actually a book that it was a fairly recent purchase. It just came out recently, and that is Hollow by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. They call this writing duo, the Twisted Sisters, and they wrote, not Vampire Academy, Vampire Diary. They wrote, what did they write? Hold on. I have one of the books somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. I did find it, and it was actually conveniently located in this little book stand that I have set up. They wrote Zodiac Academy, and this book seems to me like a sort of guilty pleasure kind of read, kind of dramatic, interesting, get your feelings up, you want to be invested in a quick, easy, like, I don't know, kind of reality TV-esque type read. This is what the impression that I have got of this. So I only bought the first book in the series. I do want to try to read it, but these are the same authors. And this is their new series that has just come out. And I think this one's a little more adult. This is obviously adult. It's spicy. There's adult in this. But I think you're following kind of younger kids, like high school or maybe college age kids in this book. This book is really following more adult. I'm dying to read these authors and kind of know what all the hype's about. The back is very short, so I'll read the back to you. It says, "Don't listen to the whispers of the woods. Don't trust the man cloaked in shadow. Don't earn the wrath of the scattered spirits. Don't go out after dark." So, I mean, that's setting a vibe right there, and I am loving it. So, excited to get to this one as well.
And then another arc that I am planning on reading that I just never got to, it came out in October of this past year, and we don't always get to the arcs in time to do arc reviews or in time for its release, but I do try to still read them, especially if I still have interest in them. And one of them is The Hitchhikers by Chevy Stevens. I read Chevy Stevens a while ago, like 10 years ago, and on my Goodreads, I actually gave one of Chevy Stevens' books 5 stars. I don't remember it that well, so I must have really been enamored in the moment and gave it 5 stars. But I have wanted to read this for a while, and I just keep having it pushed, and I haven't had a chance to read it, and I'm very interested in getting this one accomplished. This one's about a married couple. It takes place in 1976. Married couple's Tom and Alice, and they encounter hitchhikers when they go on the road in their RV. And obviously the hitchhikers that they pick up start to show some suspicious signs and maybe potentially be murderers. I have a feeling there might be a twist in this as well, that maybe the married couple may end up being, ends up being the murderers or something like that. Definitely want to read Chevy Stevens again, so I plan on reading this finally in January. At least I hope so.
Okay, so I have 2 fantasy, romantasy, my comfort genres. 2 books from my comfort genres, okay, on the TBR. And so I thought I would mix it up and go to another comfort genre. Thriller. So I did find a thriller on my TBR shelf, and that's The Passengers by John Mars. This book, you guys, sounds terrifying. You're following, I think, 8 people. It's 6 or 8. 8 people, I think, get into this autonomous, like, driverless car that has been adopted in the UK. I think this takes place in the UK. And so the UK government has decided that we are going to switch to driverless cars, and everybody is just going to be safer riding around in these cars that drive themselves and less accidents. And they're going to start banning actually driver cars, which is scary because I feel like, whew, I mean, how would you not like, I mean, how would you feel about not being able to get in your car and drive? It feels like it's taking away a little bit of freedom in my mind. So I don't know, that's scary. But in and of itself, that's terrifying. But you're following 8 people that get into this car, and this car has been rigged, I'm guessing, and they can't get out, and it starts broadcasting live on the internet, these people stuck in this car, and they start asking the people viewing on the internet who should they let survive or who should they kill first, something like that. So it's kind of like one of those like scary, disturbing situations where someone is wanting to kill these people and broadcast it live over the internet, and the audience participates. So kind of very futuristic type book. It is a lot of things about this book sound very scary to me. So this book sounds super exciting, and I think I picked this up. I picked this up at a secondhand bookstore. So if I don't like it, I'll probably give it to a little free library, but I don't know. This book sounds pretty cool to me.
The next 2 are electronic arcs that I have. The first is called Detour. It's by Jeff Rake and Rob Hart. Jeff Rake, I believe, is the creator of a show that was called Manifest. First it was on NBC, and then Netflix had picked it up because it got canceled, and the fans were very vocal about getting resolution to some of the storylines that were happening. And I was pretty obsessed with this show. I thought it was a really well done show. I feel like the book kind of has a similar premise to that show, so it's probably why I'm being drawn to it. But I happened upon that this book was coming out, and it does come out January 13th, so I don't know if I'll have a chance to do an ARC review. I might not read it until it's actually out. The premise of this one is about a crew of astronauts that go into space. One is actually a civilian that gets invited onto this crew, and once they come back, they realize that Earth and everything that they had left seems very different. There are some things that are similar, but they are noticing some stark differences to before they had left. And the mission is supposed to be 2 years. I don't know if they end up leaving for that full amount of time. But it's very similar because Manifest was about a airplane that kind of gets rerouted, and then when it lands, they all find out that they have been gone for 5 years. But when they were on the plane, they didn't notice anything different. There was a storm, and that was about it. And I think the plane might have gotten hit by lightning when they were in the sky, but nothing else crazy happened. So they don't understand why they're 5 years into that they were missing for 5 years, and they're now 5 years into the future. And then the crew that's on that plane keeps trying to investigate what happened, because it's just, you know, that's a crazy concept to get off of a plane and be 5 years into the future. So this one sounds again that you're going on some kind of flight mission, coming home, and things are different. I very much am looking forward to reading this one. If you guys haven't checked out our most anticipated for January and February, I do go over that one as well in that video, and that's how I found it, was when I was researching titles to go over in that video.
The next book is another thriller that I have downloaded on my ARC, and that is It Could Have Been Her by Lisa Jewell. This is coming out in 2026, and this book sounded very, I don't know, it sounded like the type of thriller that I like. In this book, there's a woman who finds a lost dog, and I think she's seen this lost dog with a teenager before. She thinks this dog belongs to some teenager that she has seen before. So she decides to return this dog to its owner. And when she gets to the place that she believes this dog belongs, an older man answers the door and gives her some kind of story about how the dog must have been stolen. She's not quite believing it. She's starting to wonder where this teenager is, and she gets a glimpse inside the house and finds like a very weak older woman that looks very like she's been abused or neglected at least. And so she starts trying to figure out like, okay, what's going on here? This isn't right. This is obviously not sitting right with me. So something's going on. And she starts digging around trying to find out what happened to the teenager and what are these people hiding and who actually does the dog belong to. So this sounded really fun. There's also mention of the house. She has a history with the house that this dog is returned to. So something with her in her past too is going to come to light. So that sounds fun. I hope there's not a whole lot of jumping back and forth between past and present because I don't really like that a lot. Sometimes it works. That's not a hard fast rule for me, but generally jumping back and forth in the timeline is not something that I really like. So I hope there's not a whole lot of that in this book. But I love Lisa Jewell, even though her last book didn't really work out for me. I have loved her books in the past, and I'm really excited and very, very happy to get an early copy of this one. And hopefully I can put a review up for you guys. I think Jen also got a copy of this, so if she did, then maybe we'll do a joint ARC review. I'm not sure, but we will see what the future holds.
Another electronic ARC that I have that I want to read in January is called Lost Lambs by Madeline Cash. This one's a debut fiction literary book, but one of the things that drew me to this book was how much it talked about being quick-witted and funny. And I try and balance some of the thrillers that I do and some of the craziness that I read, especially if I'm reading any kind of horror, though I'm not really reading that this month. I mean, Adrift by Will Dean kind of sounds like it might get into that territory, but for this one, it's more about a crazy family, and the way it was described just made me laugh because it's like a modern family tale held together with crazy glue. So I was interested in hearing another debut author. I like reading new authors a lot and seeing who else is out there other than the ones I'm always drawn to. And this one also comes out January 13th. I will probably not get to it again like the other one because I'm going to concentrate on the ARC video we're doing first so we have it ready for February. And that's 3 books I got to get through. Though I have a lot more time in January, you just never know how long anything is going to take. So I might not do ARC reviews for that, but I think we might be doing quarterly reviews again this year. Amanda and I haven't talked about it. And if we are going to do that again for 2026, then you will hear about those in the quarterly review.
All right, y'all. So the next pick, I am going to roll my dice, and I have a pool table in the basement. So I think I'm going to go over and roll it on the pool table and show you guys what I get. I am hoping I get TBR pile or fantasy. I'm hoping I get... I guess like the worst one for me to get on here would be a reread because I don't reread a lot of books. All right, so it looks like I'm gonna have to buy another book, which is exciting, but also I'm trying not to. I'm trying to read down my TBR, so it kind of defeats the purpose, but whatever. One book, no big deal. I will have to do that and update you guys later on what book I buy. Hey y'all, Editing Amanda here. I just wanted to pop in and let you guys know that since I filmed this video, I have gone out and purchased a new book for this dice roll, and I decided to purchase The Strength of the Few by James Islington. This is the second book in the Hierarchy series, so I was going to buy it anyways because I loved The Will of the Many, and I don't feel as guilty about adding this one to my TBR.
And lastly, I have our TBR jar. We have to choose books from the TBR jar. I am going to choose 2 just because if you've watched our previous TBR videos that we pick from the jar, I tend to pick ones that I have to DNF, and it has made me choose what we go over in our most anticipated videos a little more wisely. I try not to choose ones that I think, okay, I'm probably not going to like that book. Like, I really want to choose ones that I can see myself really liking. But it's like when you're shopping at the grocery store and you're hungry. Sometimes I see a lot of books coming out and I just think, ooh, that looks so good. I want to put that on my most anticipated. And then like the shine kind of wears off after a while. And then when you might actually read it, you're like, you know what? I don't really like this book. So I am hoping that if I pick 2, that both will be great. I think we are planning this year, instead of doing vlogs for the TBR jar, I think we are doing shorts so that you get just, you know, a 1 to 3 minute video saying, I read this from the TBR jar, here's my quick thoughts, instead of a full vlog. At least I remember us talking about that. I had texted her before I was starting recording this, and she hadn't answered that question yet. So I'm not sure what we're doing for this yet. But I'm going to choose, and I'm hoping to pick something that I've been wanting to read and just haven't got to, because it forces me then to get a chance to read it. And I do put, so in here I have these tiny little books that I put the pieces of paper around them. And that one came open pretty easy. So this one's called The Unmothers by Leslie Anderson. And I do remember this one. I didn't put when this came out, and I honestly don't know when this came out, but I know it's a horror book. I also know it does look like something that I could potentially put down. It just has that, I don't know. I kind of feel like it might. Okay, I got another one. It's just what I've been known to do from these. And this one came out open really easy too. So this one's called The Graveyard Shift by Maria Lewis. I don't remember that. It does sound kind of horror-ish. I'll have to figure out what that is. And obviously, if those don't turn out and we're not vlogging, then I don't think we would do a short on it. So maybe I'll just keep choosing till I have something, and then that's when we would do a YouTube short on whatever I end up finishing in terms of the book. But at least 2 more came out of that jar, which is a good thing.
Finally, we are gonna pick the TBR jar, and I'm only gonna pick one this month because I don't know how much time I'm gonna have reading after resetting from Christmas and the holidays and still working on the house. We have our old house on the market officially, so trying to sell that house. So I'm only gonna pick one because I don't want to overdo it. But like I said earlier in the video, if I read all these books and I want to pick more, then I'll pick another one and film a short for you guys. So let's see what we get here. Hopefully it's gonna be a good one. So I got, and this is just a brand new release, so I don't know if this book is out yet. I'll have to look and see, but I got Definitely Maybe Not a Detective by Sarah Fox. I think this actually comes out early in January, so I should be able to read this one and get my hands on it. I will put a hold in the Libby app on my library, and I'll put a hold on the physical book in the library and see if I can get that in. So that's exciting. There's another, like, this is sort of another genre. So I've got some fantasy here. I've got some thrillers here. I've got a new fantasy that I need to buy. And then this is like a humorous mystery type book. So I'm really excited to get that one. That's fun. And it's one that just recently got put in from our most anticipated for January and February. So cool. This turned out to be a fun TBR for me. And I hope you guys have enjoyed, and let us know what you think about the new ideas as far as using the dice for me and pulling at least one from our TBR jar.
Okay, I don't have a lot to show in the final part of this video since I'm doing mostly electronic arcs. But let us know what is on your January 2026 TBR. What are you most excited about reading? And put them in the comments. Would love to hear from you. And also make sure you hit subscribe so you can see some of the other vlogs that we're planning and going to be putting out soon. Thanks guys for watching, and until next time.